steering wheel. Somebody tell him to give it to me.
There's something loose between my legs.
I don't know.
I'm heavier than a freaking boat.
Nothing he could say can make that any better.
No more radio for the rest of the race.
I'm going home.
Hello, and welcome to DRS FC and F1 podcast by Soccer Nerds. I'm a soccer nerd. I am Donald Wine. I have Ebony Chris with me. Ebony, how's it going?
Pretty good. It's been a while since we've done one of these. And now we get to let's do it all over again.
Yeah, and the funny thing is this is live. Ebony and I are going to be recording here as literally seconds ago, the North American International Auto Show in my hometown of Detroit is going to be unveiling the livery for both Red Bull Racing as well as Racing Bulls. And Ebony and I thought it'd be a good idea to come on here and react to it in real time. So we're going to be kind of looking at our screens here to kind of see what's going on. They're just now getting started. It is being done in conjunction with Ford, which is why it's being done at the North American International Auto Show. It's being done at the new central terminal for Detroit's train station, which I'm very excited about. It's a big symbol of our city. And it's one that Ford has kind of taken over the rebuilding and remodeling of it. And this is kind of its kickoff to the world. So, Ebony, your thoughts before we actually see this thing? And I don't know how long it's going to be before they unveil this thing, but your thoughts as we kind of kickstart 2026 with these new liveries.
I'm excited. I'm hoping it's not what everybody's saying. Like it's going to be the same type of livery as before, and they're just going to copy paste. So I'm hoping it's not that. But it should be hopefully a cool event. I didn't know it was in the train station. That's really cool. So I'm excited to see what they bring out. Looks like right now it's just a very tall guy on stage talking. I'm guessing Ford.
So that's Bill Ford Jr., who's the chairman. Funny enough, my cousin played soccer in high school with his daughter. So I've met him a few times before. He's a lot older than last time I saw him. But so it's interesting, right? Because you have these kind of elements. Ford is getting into the game with Red Bull for the first time. They also will be doing Racing Bulls as well. But it's kind of interesting to see how this pairing is going to work out in a new year where there are new regulations and everybody's got new cars. The car itself has changed. Give me your thoughts on just what you expect to see from Red Bull this year.
I mean, when you can win the battle of keeping Max, that's always a good thing. So whatever the regs are, however this car looks, you know that Max is going to be one of the top performers in it just because that's who he is. I'm sad about Isaac Hadjar going to Red Bull. It's like that second seat, man. I'm hoping that with the new regs, they finally get the right mindset of like, you have two drivers. You need to make this car perform for two drivers. So if they can do that, then I think we will have a really fun Red Bull 1-2 this year. But if not, then I'm just so afraid that Isaac is just going to get left behind again in that second seat. So hopefully the car performs well. Hopefully it looks good while performing well. Otherwise, we're going to have a huge shakeup for drivers in 2026.
I mean, I think the shakeup might be Max leaving. You mentioned them holding on to Max, and I almost want to be like, for now, because I feel like at this point, Red Bull is behind the eight ball. They don't have the Constructors' Championship. Max, for the first time in 4 years, is not the returning champion. So you mentioned the liveries from before and how they have really not changed over the last 4 years. Maybe it's time for a fresh start with a new car, again, a new partner in Ford, and wanting to once again be the team that aims up at the champions of McLaren and Lando Norris to try and get back what they had. Maybe it's time for a change. I will say Racing Bulls has done some change over the years. I thought last year's car was actually kind of nice. But I wonder what they do now to kind of, again, breathe some new life into Red Bull, because they desperately need it with so many changes.
Yeah, I mean, you also, well, you say like, new car, new strategy, but having a new partner beside you as well, and for at least for Max, what is also just like a fresh change. And then obviously all the changes that happen within the quote unquote front office of with Red Bull for them. I'm very interested to see where they go for 2026 and what they truly focus on. Are they going to let Isaac Isaac Hajar develop like Kimi got to do at Mercedes? That's honestly my biggest worry. Is Hajar's a really good driver, and I don't want him to get lost in the sauce. So that's been my biggest issue. But we'll see.
We're just moments away, it feels like, from the unveiling of one of these cars. It looks like Red Bull's car. They're still doing talking. They had a nice little Red Bull video, if you like that sort of thing, as part of the grand opening. But Nicole Briscoe is on stage now. I don't know why Nicole Briscoe is doing it. I guess especially because of ESPN no longer being the TV partner for Formula One. I guess she now has the time to work with Red Bull directly.
How are you feeling about the Apple TV deal? It sounds like it's not going to be too different than what we were already experiencing, but still, it's another subscription to another thing, and some people don't have that access because they maybe can't afford to add another streaming service on top of another streaming service. So how are you feeling about it?
I feel a little bit better about it knowing that it's not going to be like MLS Season Pass where it's a paywall within a paywall. Yeah. I like that at least they're doing that. I kind of like that F1 TV is being absorbed into it for the sole reason of, we had our subscription as a group, and I can never use it because we had so many people on it every week. At least with Apple TV, I have my own access to that. I will say this, and I've kind of said this as we've talked about Apple, the one thing that is going to be their biggest hurdle, and it's one that they continue to have to stumble over with Major League Soccer, is that cross partnership, that cross promotion with other events. The reason why it was so successful in ESPN is because it didn't matter if there was cornhole on before, didn't matter if it was, ESPN 8 the Ocho type stuff, volleyball, track, whatever. They would coming up next, Formula One qualifying, and people would stick around because it's ESPN. People would wake up on a Saturday morning for training or for the FP1, FP3, and they could turn on their TV to ESPN and they're getting Sports Center. No, they're getting Formula One, and they would just stay there. So you had this natural gravitas towards the sport because it was always on the quote unquote worldwide leader. Now with Apple, they don't do that. They don't advertise on other TVs. They don't advertise on other channels and other sporting events. And so you're going to lose some of that ancillary audience of people who may have been watching something else and then said, oh, Formula One's on. I guess I'll stick with that because of their interest in the sport growing. They have to do a great job at trying to retain the fans that were already watching, but also sprout new membership and sprout new fan base. I think that's going to be, it's also, of course, here in the United States. Around the world, it's a little bit different, but the great thing is there's enough iPhones out there. A lot of times people get like little bits and pieces of free access to Apple TV, like through promotions, whatever that Apple may be doing, but they're going to have to step that up, and Formula One has to lead the charge to make sure that they are not losing their fan base because of lack of cross promotion.
Yeah, that's kind of how my feeling about it is. It's like, how are you getting new people on it? Like, I guess if you already have Apple TV and you see something live, then you're going to be like, oh, it's like watching TV. So that would be cool. But I just don't, because we have not experienced what a race day is like yet with them, I'm being a little pessimistic. Mm-hmm. So I really want to see what like the first one or two races looks like underneath Apple before I'd be like, this was the worst deal they could have ever made. And it just is like a wait and see, but also hindsight is 2020, and it's just like, I'm gonna get it because I need it, and I want to watch F1. But for the person that's like they can't afford that, like anyone could watch on ABC because it's an over the air, and I don't know. I feel like they put up more barriers than they needed to get the average fan to come back into the sport, especially those fans that you lost. Like, especially after 2021, you lost some fans, and then Max dominating for however long he did, you kind of lost some fans. And then this year was fun, but then now that they had that fun and you put this paywall up against it, it's like we're back. We've regressed. So we'll see. I mean, I'm also a huge merch fan, so I love a good like piece that'll grab me. So hopefully with this livery, they put something out that matches it really well and it looks cool, because it like fashion is also a way people get into a sport or /team /player or athlete. So whatever they do with this library and what essentially is hopefully the merch that comes after it is also going to be a big portion of all like the whole season, honestly, because like soccer jerseys are a fashion statement now. So this livery should be a part of your fashion icon going forward. So hopefully it's good. That's also one thing I wanted to make sure I brought up.
I want to touch on the merch thing in a second, but getting back to the Apple TV thing, I think the one thing that's going to be crucial as well is with the envelopment of F1 TV, where we had access to things like the map of where guys were on the track, different cameras, different radio calls. They're going to have to set that part up, because F1 TV is terrific at allowing you to kind of have multi-screens going on where you could see a little bit more of the action than what was on the main feed. Apple's going to probably, I mean, their Apple cameras are really great. Like, the production quality is great, but they're going to have to step up that portion of it, because that does take up a lot. It affects a lot of the experience where people get to go to an Isaac Hajar's camera to see what he's doing, to see what Lewis Hamilton is racing up against. If there's a couple of guys racing in the middle of the pack, you can click on one of their cameras to see what's going on. You want to be able to have that kind of at your fingertips. I feel like Apple needs to really lead the charge on that, but I think the production quality will be great. Now, you mentioned merchandise, and you're wearing a DRSFC shirt. I'm wearing a DRSFC shirt. Just want to say we're working on merch. Merch is coming, because I think merch is one of the huge bones I have to pick with F1 is that the merch that they have is not super great depending on your team, but I think also it's super expensive. And
yes.
It is, I mean, I don't own any direct F1 merch because it's so expensive. And a lot of the merch that I get is like offshoot shirts that I find online that might be for Lewis Hamilton or for what have you, right? And I think F1 can do a better job at reaching those fans by making fashion a part of it, but also making it accessible to everyone, because that's how it worked for soccer, right? Yeah. It didn't matter that you had the old soccer jersey, because the old soccer jersey was in. It didn't matter that you got it for $20.99 or if you got it for $199. The style was the style, and sometimes you wanted to be modern and have a modern look. Sometimes you wanted to have that throwback nostalgia look, and sometimes you wanted to have a mix of both. Look at me. I'm wearing a fitted hat. Fitted hat is a part of that style, a part of that fashion, and a part of what unites you with other people. When I wear this hat that has a Detroit symbol on it and I walk around, someone from Detroit's going to pick up on it and they're going to be like, my man, right? That's going to be the connector, the uniter. And F1 has an opportunity to do that with their merch, but they need to make it more accessible to allow anybody that opportunity to be a part and feel like they are a part of that community.
Definitely. Because I've seen like some of their shirts that are like $200 and I'm like, it's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
It's a t-shirt with like 16 other company logos on it that doesn't even have the players, the driver's numbers on it. Like, insane. That's merch should be accessible. The game should be accessible. The race should be accessible. Like, sorry, when I say the game, soccer nerd. Like, the race should be accessible, and accessibility is one big thing that a lot of people just forget about. because they have the privilege to have access to it. So this got really preachy for a second, but I think it's been my biggest thing. Yeah.
As we enter 2026, our job gets a little bit more important in trying to bring in more people into this community. Like, that's what moving to Apple TV kind of did, is it increases the pressure on the creators, on the fans, to say, hey, this is how we make it accessible to everyone else, because pretty soon it's just going to be, the six of us just kind of chilling, watching TV, and you don't want it to be that, because that's not fun. You want the interactions on social media. You want the people when you're walking into the grocery store and someone's wearing a McLaren shirt to be able to stop and talk to him about the race, or talk to him about papaya rules, whatever that conversation may lead you at that moment. It's, again, wearing hats is that way. It's a conversation starter. Wearing jerseys for your particular sport is a conversation starter. F1 needs to start entering that realm if they want to gain even more traction than they already have. The Drive to Survive is great. The production is great. The racing is great. Now they need to, again, bring in that person who may have never seen an F1 car before, but they know what Red Bull is. They know what McLaren is. They know what Aston Martin is. They know what Ferrari is. And it's hard to say those are luxury brands, right? It's hard to say, come down and get the little guys, and get the guys who don't make enough money to buy your product, and give them something for them to support your product and support your team. It's easier said than done to kind of break through that wall of these companies, but that's part of the task that I guess we're stuck with, and we take that responsibility. And that's why merch is coming for DRSFC, because we want people to feel like, even though they can't drive a Ferrari, whether it's on a racetrack or in a showroom, they can at least, look the part when they're watching the races with their friends.
And if you are following along, rewatching the Livery back, we are 17 minutes in, and they're still talking heads. So
yeah. Well, Laurent Mekies was on. I think he's still on. Cole Briscoe is leading this thing as the master of ceremonies. But Laurent Mekies, let's talk about him for a second, because I feel like last year we had an epiphany that we did not like as a crew, that Red Bull got a little bit more likable. Not all the way. Got a little bit more likable. They got rid of Christian Horner. Now Helmut Marko's out. Those are two of the big guys that really we did not like, and a lot of people didn't like. That leaves Max is really the only guy left. Even Max became likable.
He became likable. I'm like,
yeah.
God.
But Laurent Mekies, like, what are your thoughts on him? Because, I mean, coming over from Raceables, this will be his first full year with the big, Red Bull. And again, he just seems like this guy where you're like, I'm trying to figure out how to hate him.
I feel like he is what made Red Bulls more likable, because he was a little bit he wasn't polished. He wasn't the guy that was going to come in and be like, I'm the captain now. He came in and was like, yo, do you know you have a second driver? You should probably fix his car so that he can drive for you. And then they did it. If you want to compare him with someone, think of him as Mohram Mandani. Jesus. Yeah. Zohran Mandani. Jesus Christ. I was having a hard time with his name. I just dyslexic my way through that whole thing. Think of it like that, because Mandani went in, and day 3, he just fixed stuff. He didn't need the parade. He didn't need any cameras around. He didn't want your applause. He just said, this needs fixing, so I'm going to go make them fix it. And then they fixed it. And then he was like, look, I fixed it. He said, universal healthcare, go sign up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant that. Like, it's now available for you to go sign up for that. Like, that's literally what he did. He came in and was like, yo, fix this. And then they fixed it. Now, Yuki was still not great in that car, but at least they fixed it enough to where you could see the promise of what having a manager that cares about both drivers does. So I feel like that's like, he came in and we were all just like, oh, Red Bull's kind of like not bad.
Yeah.
Like, a solid 6.5, 7 out of 10.
Like if someone else came in the room, you're like, hey, tighten up that. Man, I hate y'all. I can't stand y'all. Then you leave the room like, all right, man, you do that. I see you.
Yeah.
But
You're like,
I think also, the great thing about, I think the thing that gives me promise about Isak Hajar in that second Red Bull seat is that Laurent Mickey's was his principal before, right?
Yeah.
Before the switch happened last year, he was Yuki's person as well. He's worked with Yuki, he's worked with Liam, he's worked with Max now. And so he knows what all these drivers can do. And again, they have this unfair advantage by having two teams on the grid. But he understands that Red Bull, to get back to the top, is going to have to work with all of these guys. And so to be able to understand what a Hajar can do and have a car that works for both. And also I think with 2026, it's a lot harder to say, Max, we're only going to make this car for you. We were making a brand new car. So it's got to work for both drivers, because we don't know if it's going to work for one driver or zero drivers. We need to try and make it work for both. And the fact that he's working with these guys, I think he understands them, and now he can bring in the kind of personnel needed, and also the personality needed to just kind of be the calm talking to. He's not the guy that's going to be jumping on during FP1 to, blab about Red Bull and what they're doing while, somebody's out there just practicing, right? He's not going to be that guy who's going to be on the broadcast a lot, but he's going to be a guy that for Red Bull fans, they hope that he's just going to be a guy that's going to be steady, and in this new era of change, that he's just the constant North Star that helps this team just continue to push forward.
To give you a quick update on what we're watching, they have VR headsets
Yeah.
on.
They're talking about the powertrains,
floating engines.
Yeah.
So we'll see how long this broadcast lasts.
I mean, it looks
both
fun.
cars are on the stage now, if that helps. Both cars are on the stage and covered. So
they had it's funny because after the first segment they had one, and then after the other segment they had a second one. So it's like they're like, hey, they only have like one set of moving guys, and they're like, yo, buy us 5 minutes. We got to rule this other car out. So take it to a video or something. We'll be back. Now they have this VR thing where they're talking about the powertrains. I don't have the sound on, so I can't tell you what they're saying, but it does look cool. And again, cool. The powertrain, I don't know. This is a deep D thing about how this would work, the aerodynamics of it, but the engine looks different, vastly different from what it's looked like before, at least based on the VR. So how it goes, and I know they've changed some of the terminology around the new systems, but this is the nerd part of the ceremony. This is where the people who were just, I see people in the crowd who are like, this is really cool because it's VR, and you see people in the crowd who are like, just show me the cars, man. Like, yeah. 10 o'clock. Just show me the cars.
Also, why is this at 10 o'clock at night?
That I don't know. I don't know.
Could they not get approval to like shut down the station for 30 minutes? Like,
well, it's Ford's. Ford runs it, so they can shut down whenever they want. I will say the North American International Auto Show, it happens every year around this time, and it usually starts the week of MLK weekend and kind of runs for like 10 days. And so this is like part of the grand kickoff for it. But I wondered if they didn't want to interfere with people being at the auto show, because the central train station is not where the auto show is. It's at what used to be called Cobo Hall. I think it's called Huntington Place now. They've changed the name a couple times. So it's not far from there. But I wonder if they didn't want to overlap with that. They needed people to be in both places. So they said, okay, once the auto show is done for the night, then come over here and let's do this. But that's the only thing I can offer as a possible explanation for why it's 10:25 on a Thursday night and we ain't seen no cars yet.
Well, where's Red Bull located?
Red Bull's located in Austria.
So what time is it in Austria?
Do the math. It's like 4 a.m., 4:30.
That doesn't even make any sense there either.
That makes no sense either. Yeah.
I'm
In
trying.
England, it's they have
One.
every team has a thing in England. It's like 3 a.m., 3:30. So everybody sleep over there.
Right.
Mm,
I'm very like the timing is what's throwing me off the most.
yeah.
Like I'm very happy that it's happening, but the timing was very weird. I did when Kyle brought up like where's the library, I was like, that's a really good question because I thought it was today. And I didn't even think about it hadn't even happened yet. I just thought, oh, they're delaying it.
I had seen online, and maybe it was Doug that shared it. But I saw that it was going to be set for 10, and I just remember going like 10 o'clock. Like, I got a whole day. This is like I want to say it was like 10:30 in the morning that I saw this. I was like, man, I got 12 hours before this. Like, I'm gonna do other stuff. I'm not worried about this. And then later on, we're like, oh, we're still doing this. Right. It's still at 10 o'clock. Cool. We got time. So it's interesting. Yeah, the timing's interesting. We don't know who they're doing it for. I guess it's 10:30 and 10:26 in the morning in China, in Australia. Bahrain is still early morning, where there's going to be testing in a couple of weeks. First of all, testing is going to be in a couple of weeks. Holy
right.
crap.
How did we get here already?
We're almost here. And I guess let's talk about the schedule, because we're going to try to do this. Maybe not you and I for every single one, but we're going to try and do some sort of reaction, whether it be live or otherwise, for all of the liveries for all now 11 teams over the course of the next 3 weeks. It starts tonight, obviously, and over the course of the next 3 weeks, it leads all the way up to, I believe, McLaren and Aston Martin will have theirs both on February 9th. Cadillac will have theirs during the Super Bowl on February 8th. That one might be a live one, unless it's during the Bad Bunny concert, in which case, catch me after that.
Right, that'll be after. We'll be live
afterwards, because we will not interfere with Bad Bunny on this show.
No.
So yeah, we're still doing the VR thing. I wish I could get some sound where it wouldn't feedback on my mic. I already tried that. And
well, how about this? How about we take a break?
Okay.
Since it looks like they're going to be at this for a while, and then we'll come back right before they do the livery.
That sounds good to me. So we'll be right back with more DRSFC. We're doing the liveries for Red Bull and Racing Bulls.
We're back. So right now they're going through their little hype video. So
and this appears to be for Red Bull, not for Racing Bulls. So it's funny. I would think that they would have done Racing Bulls first and kind of had the main event be the Red Bull, but it's cool. We're going to get one of them. Now, this maybe this is the one that requires the most change, because they haven't done it for 5 years. They've just kept the same one and slapped maybe a new sticker on there. And they're like, see?
And they're like, we're at 55%.
Like, we put a new coat of paint on there. See? Different. Like the orange is a little more orangey. So yeah, different. Same thing though. It's like old school where they just keep regifting the same gift to everybody. He like opens the box.
It's like, in the same gift bag from like 10 years ago. I didn't think I'd be excited for this one, but I am, and I can't wait. Now, who's going to actually reveal the car? Are the drivers going to come out to reveal?
That's a great question. I mean, we had the F-175 last year where all the drivers were in attendance, but it would be nice to see what the jumpsuits also look like on the drivers and the helmets that they're going to wear, because they do change their helmets from time to time, whether it's the design or the color or what have you. And also it'd be a nice way to introduce Arvin Lindblad, because he's the lone rookie of the grid this year. So let's see what happens here. I muted the sound because of the feedback, but we have Minky's back on stage with this looks like some Ford guy in Nicole Briscoe.
I like that jacket though.
The one that Minky's is wearing?
Yeah. It's a polo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it has the blue, it has the navy blue, it has the light blue. Maybe that's a sign that they're gonna
Change the colors up a little bit.
Add some light blue elements to it. Because if you remember, the Racing Bulls blue was more royal blue than that of Red Bull, which was like a deep navy. This is the CEO of Formula One. So
we clearly don't see him enough.
no. I mean, CEO, he's like, I executive offers. I don't operate nothing. I'm just in the back.
I watch you do those things.
And then I tell you later, you did that wrong.
Right. At least he's nice about it and doesn't tell you like right then and there. He waits until you're private so that he can say you cost me money.
I would like a word with you in your office. Like,
right.
Excuse me.
No, I'm bringing this box just because it's a coincidence.
Yeah, no, my office is broke, man. We got to do this in the break room, man. Sorry.
Right. See,
now here's the question: is the Red Bull car stage left or stage right?
Stage left.
So, like, if looking out at the audience, is it on their left?
I think it's stage left. Yeah.
Stage. Let's see.
We don't have prop bets on this show. What are we doing?
Nah, we're not endorsed by any prop bet market. I feel like we're gonna keep
betting on the NWSL. What's that? Oh, my bad.
She's like,
that's for like the 6 people that have that crossover.
Mm-hmm.
outside of the hosts.
Yeah.
That's gonna be. We're still talking heads.
Still talking. And it's funny because we came back because they had this setup where we're like, oh, they're about
She's
to
like,
do
yo,
it.
we're gonna watch this video and then we're gonna reveal the livery.
And no,
she's like, we're gonna reveal one of them, and I'm like, okay, great.
They played us.
Yeah.
See, Nicole not be doing no ESPN stuff. ESPN, they got someone in her ear going like, "Hey, go to break, go to commercial.
Like, hey, wrap this up, yo. Like,
wrap this up, B.
We got things to do." See, this is why I couldn't work in TV, because I'd be like, "Yo, here's this thing. Take it, enjoy it. Come touch the car, not too much. You can touch a wheel."
Like,
and
take
then,
your picture next to it, you know.
And then everybody go home. 15 minutes.
Now, we'll say about Central Train Station is this room that they're in is like a they've kind of refurbished it into a mini concert hall, not like a huge one where you can you can have concerts there. I believe when they grand opened it 6 months ago, they had Eminem perform. I think Jack White performed. And again, it was a small one. Our friend Amy went to that, and I was super jealous because she sent me pictures, and I was like, this is what you invite me home for. Like, you don't tell me the reason. You just say you need to be here on this date, and there's a reason why. But yeah, it's like a mini concert hall where you can have, I think they're going to have shows there, a lot of kind of events like this. But it seems like at least the crowd is very like, it's not a bunch of suits. It's people in hats, fans. It looks like some people got tickets from wherever, but it's not like a suit crowd where it's a bunch of, corporate execs going, very looking nice looking car.
Deadpan looking straight ahead.
Yeah. Everyone's standing. There's like no seats. So it's not like it's not like anyone's sitting down in rows. It's not like an award show or something like that. So neither of these are drivers.
Neither one.
But they are wearing a similar polo as Laurent Marquez, except there's a short sleeve.
Right. How did he get the long sleeve? That's always coveted.
He can get
a long sleeve jersey.
It's also very cold there. So
right. So they said, F these guys, I get the long sleeve. Okay, great.
We only got one. Sorry, guys.
Budgets. We spent $90 million on the car, so sorry. We can only afford
Pierre
one.
Watch, the technical director of Red Bull. He's talking technical. I can't hear what he's saying, but it looks technical by the way his mannerisms.
Yeah, he put his hand in his pocket, so he's serious. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they should allow for closed captions. Remember that
That
accessibility?
would have been great.
thing? You know,
That would have been great. Yeah, nope, they don't have them. So
nope. I tried. Great. Come on, Ford.
all right. So while we're waiting for this question that popped in my head, and again, we have not seen any liveries yet. Which one do you think is going to be the best one? And we can revisit it after they're all done, and we can say, okay, I thought it was going to be this one, but it ended up being something else, or it ended up being the one that I thought. So which one do you think, before we see any of them, which one do you think will end up looking the best?
Oh, I have two.
Okay.
Cadillac, I think it's gonna look so good. Oh my gosh. And then I also think Williams could shock some people. And their merch game recently has been fire. So I'm hoping that whoever is doing that has turned over to the livery department and was like, hey man, you might want to try this, because this is getting the people going. And so, because I
like both of those answers. I mean, I was going to go with Cadillac. I was also going to go with Audi, because Audi, they already released like the colors. It's going to be like red and black. And I was like, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, that's also going to be a tough one. Yeah.
But Williams last year, low key, turned out one of the best cars visually. And I think the one thing was they had the white jumpsuit. And if they had the navy to match their car, it would have been tremendous. So I'm wondering if they do that subtle switch of just like keeping the blue, having I think keeping the blue and then just like adding more blue to their jumpsuit.
Well, they changed the blue, and the new
they changed the blue too. Yeah,
looks really good. I said Cadillac because I think they're going to do silver better than Mercedes did silver.
Yeah. And theirs is going to be. I mean, look, I grew up. My dad worked at the Cadillac plant. He ran the thing, and I've had a Cadillac. It's one of those where when you hear metallic silver, if you have seen a Cadillac that is metallic silver, you know exactly what color that is, and that excites me more than anything that F1 may have ever done. Because when they tell me that, maybe with some black, maybe with some gold, like it's gonna be. I'm thinking that's gonna be primo, and I think they recognize the responsibility of being the new team on the grid. Audi is kind of the new team on the grid. They're just it's more like changing call signs for them, right? They've kind of been behind the scenes for a year, getting their, watching Kick Sauber kind of finish out and then understanding what they need to do to take over. So it's kind of like them just changing call signs, similar personnel and things like that. Cadillac is wanting to make a splash. They already did it with the drivers in Checo and Bottas. Their rollout has been incredible so far, at least in my opinion. And I think delivery is going to be the same. So, all right, Nicole, don't disappoint us now.
Look, you've already bamboozled me once. Okay.
Don't give me no videos. Don't give me no. Also, this is shot on an iPhone right now.
That's crazy. It's the drivers. So the drivers will be releasing, hopefully be.
All right, here come
Hajar and Max.
Hajar and Max. Oh, that's not Max. Where is it, Max?
Yeah, it's Max.
It is Max. Okay, so we don't see the jumpsuits. They're also in the polos. Max
Again,
apparently got the other long sleeve.
Max said, I'm the 4-time world champion. I get the long sleeve today.
Yeah. Hajar gets the first question. He looks comfortable up there, which I think it's honestly a good move for a good promotion for him. Now we joke about and worry about him in that second car, but he earned the promotion, and so I hope he embraces being that second driver of Red Bull and uses that car to his advantage and uses that platform to his advantage. I think he will. But it's cool to see a young kid after a year kind of get that call, whether we like it or not. For him, I'm sure it's a dream to race for Red Bull and to have moved up through the ranks. I'm sure he's realizing that dream very, very soon, part of this car. But
so I just heard Max say, "Do you want to look at my ass?" So why is he likable now? Like, come on. Also, Hajar did say that he was going to go into this like with the knowing that like he's a second driver, he's not going to be as good as Max, so he doesn't need to compete for Max's spot because he knows that's just not what he's there for. So he went into it with that mindset so that he knew like he needed to develop and perform, but he didn't need to go after Max because that was just that's not feasible. No one's doing that in that second seat. So
we have we doing it? Here we go. It's the same car.
It's the same.
It's the same car. Okay, I take that back. They have we've been.
It's a shinier blue.
It's the shinier blue. It's not the navy blue. It has some nice little details on the side. At least like on the paint, like a sublimated design within the blue paint. But when you look at this at first glance, it looks like a similar car to what they've had in the past. Your initial thoughts as we continue to look at this thing.
Come on, son. Come on, son. What is this? You tried your hardest, and I'm gonna give you those points. Come on, son.
I mean, I keep looking at this thing, and there's no navy blue, like the dark blue. There's not really any on there.
The blues do not match what they're wearing.
Well, there must be some trim somewhere, and like I'm looking at the car, the siding is blue, is the lighter blue. I guess the halo. I'm looking at it. It looks black on my TV, but I'm sure they're going to call that the midnight blue that they have on their that they've had before. It's interesting that they just kind of made the car a little bit lighter, and like the nozzle behind the driver's head with the exhaust, with the intake, is that same yellow with the Red Bull plastered on it that they had last year.
So same car.
It looks like same car. And here's a funny thing with the changes to the car and the dimensions and all of that. It still looks similar to what we had. It's I know it's a little bit smaller of a car. I know it's a little bit more lighter of a car, but it still looks very similar to what it looked like before. You need to probably get the side-by-side videos or side-by-side photos of it. So Max and Isak seem happy about the car. I guess that's
because it's a familiar car because it's the same car.
Right. I will say that there is a change. There's a lot more sponsors on this car.
There are. It's what 55% you had to cover.
With sponsors or
like in terms of like, well, not even just sponsors, just like overall, you had to have like 55% of the car covered.
Yeah, and I mean, like the nose of the nose here just has a list of sponsors as opposed to last year where it didn't really have that. It had like maybe one or two, but this looks like it looks like one of those soccer jerseys that all of the season ticket holders got their name put on the back. It's part of the. It's part
it looks
of the
like a La Liga kit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I need to like look at it in a not biased way, and it is typical Red Bull. So I guess they have not strayed away from brand, and
that's one of the things that's part of their thing, right? That's part of their motif is their brand. They feel the brand is so strong they don't need to change it for anybody, and so for better or worse, they do that.
Do we get the other car now, or are you going to talk to us for another? Let's see. 13 minutes gets us to 11 o'clock. So
I would hope that this is done before 11 o'clock. Okay, so we've looked at this thing now for about 2 minutes now. I will say the tires are different, and we knew that the tires were going to be different, but it looks like what would be the
that
hard
side
tire
skirt is huge.
The rear tire?
The side skirt. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
But also yes, the rear tire does look bigger than the front tire.
And And we've gotten used to how they look for hard tires versus soft versus medium. They definitely have some hard tires on there because they're not going anywhere. And I don't know if you put that out in the streets of Corktown. I don't know if those going to last a few laps, baby. So they might have to rethink that. But the tire itself looks different, like the way it looks, the design of the Pro looks different. Your initial thoughts, 1 to 10. 1 being, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. 10 being, that's going to give me sore tingling right now.
I'm sorry. Why is Dak there? What are we doing?
I don't know. Oh, well, Dak's from Detroit, so
okay.
He's from Michigan. Yeah.
Where do I put this? Are we just blind ranking? If I'm putting this somewhere, I feel like it's right in the middle at a 5. So if we're gonna do like 1 to 11, putting them somewhere, I'm gonna put this at 5 because you were hoping for more, but you can't really expect more, especially from a brand as big as Red Bull. They're gonna make Red Bull the main thing. So nothing too drastic changed to make it terrible. So
I would say just straight objective looks, I think it's like a 7. Creativity is a 2 because they weren't. So overall, I think the way it looks is gonna probably overpower the fact that it's not creative at all, because in my mind, my expectation was they weren't going to be creative. We talked about that a little bit earlier. So I'm going to say that overall, I'll give it a 6.5. It still looks nice.
Yeah.
Red Bull fans, I'm sure, will be excited about the change in blue, in the dominant blue that's there. But, from an neutral observer, and I'm trying to reduce my haterism of Red Bull.
But if that's all they got, they're happy about the change of blue. And then they can't tell me anything else.
I mean,
that's gotta hurt. Like,
this is where people who listen to us who are Red Bull fans can chime in and let us know what they think. And in fact, everybody, when you comment on this on social media, on Instagram or what have you, let us know what you think of this livery. 1 through 10. Again, 1 being this is the worst thing I've ever seen. 10 being give me 10 of them right now. I want them in my garage. That's what we're having. And it looks like we're about to shift to Racing Bulls now. So
Baby Bulls.
Racing Bulls has a little bit more of a change, right? They kind of change from time to time. They still have some of the branding in there, but they take a little bit more risk as far as creativity is concerned.
For sure. Like they did some really cool stuff with just like, for one, they're a lot more fun on social media. Like, let's just throw that out there. And then you also mentioned that they are the only team with the true rookie on the grid this year. Obviously Liam is still there. I know we shit on Liam quite a bit in the beginning of last year. And it was deserved. He came out the gate swinging and just did not land. But I think he kind of grew into his role for the rest of the season. So hopefully he looks still good in this new car. So I cannot wait to see what it looks like. I hope they did take more risks with this one than they did with the Red Bull. But the Baby Bulls, I'm happy for you. Let's see what you got.
It's interesting. A lot of the imagery in this video that's being shown right now says V-carb, which is what they got away from last year. They just said, we're getting rid of the V-carb part of it, and we're just going to be Racing Bulls. And Visa Cash App was still part of the thing, but they referred to themselves as Racing Bulls. And I see a lot of V-carb imagery in here. And I wonder if it's just a playback through the most recent years. But it's interesting that they have that.
But they're spray painting V-carb on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna call them either Baby Bulls or V-carb. So no matter what they want to be called, they're gonna be.
They could be, Visa, Cash App, PayPal, Discover, Baby Bulls.
Baby Bulls.
Zelle. What other? Western Union.
I forgot about Western Union. Nobody uses that anymore. I see a lot of yellow. I'm scared.
Yeah, and they tend to have. I mean, they have the white. I mean, last year their car was majority white with that lighter blue.
Yeah.
But they did have some yellow elements, and obviously they had the Red Bull still pretty prominent. But I wonder if they're going to keep it a white car or if they're going to switch to maybe again like a different type of blue. It's interesting that the host here is in a red dress.
Yeah, this is true.
Which is, kind of again Red Bull, but like that's not what Baby Bulls really highlight on there to kind of differentiate from the big team. And now we got the two drivers coming on stage. Liam Lawson, Arvin Lindblad.
But they're in
their jumpsuits.
They're in the jumpsuits, yeah. I kind of like the jumpsuits.
It's
the Hugo on the side is pissing me off now. Never mind.
Oh yeah, that
pisses me off.
I was gonna say it looks similar to last year's, but they have more of a jagged thing on here, and we're about to get in 5 seconds. We're about to pull off the car. They're doing the car right here,
right
in Central Station, and it's the same car.
And that's our show for tonight.
Okay, so it's still a white car. They have a lot more yellow than they did last year. The blue is in line with the I guess it's in line with the blue. It's closer to the blue that Red Bull has on their car now.
There's not a lot of blue, but the blue that is there, yes, I agree. It is still very shiny blue. I like it.
The halo is the navy blue,
so
that's similar across the two cars. There's like the yellow on the nose of the car. The wing is still white and it has Hugo Boss on it.
That's the difference.
Or just Hugo.
It's all the same. Like the nose, like it's got the yellow at the bottom, and then you tell the cars apart because it's the blue versus the white, obviously, but it's the same shit. Like, I don't know. I mean, again, it leads into the brand of like Red Bull is bigger than the program, and they are because one, they have two cars, and two, that's very distinguishable for them. So
the Hugo pants are tremendous.
They caught you, right?
Yeah, the Hugo pants is just like Hugo. But the thing is also, like, again, they just spent 2 minutes in that video talking about the V-carb imagery, and all I see is Hugo. Visa Cash App is right in the front, but Hugo is right there, right underneath the Racing Bulls. Hugo is all over the car. You really don't see Visa or Cash App, and even there,
Hugo's
Cash App is on the sleeve. It's a little bit under the Visa.
The Visa Cash App is above the Hugo, but you see the Hugo more because they put silver on white.
And Hugo's in red.
Right. Hugo is big ass red letters that fits the Red Bull brand.
Now you see the Visa on the side of the car in the traditional blue that Visa, it's everywhere you want to be, or is that MasterCard? Either way.
One of those.
add that to the PayPal Zelle. But again, the Hugo being on a white background in red, Hugo being on the pant, like the entire pant leg, side of the pant leg, is an interesting choice considering, again, Hugo is supposed to be a secondary sponsor here, but they seem to be the most prominent when you look at the car and when you look at the jumpsuits.
So where are you putting this car?
So I'm going to give this one less of a grade than the Red Bull car, because at least the Red Bull car had some distinct changes if you looked at the car from year to year, which isn't hard because they didn't change the car for 4 years. This one seems like the slight changes they did make aren't as great. So I'm going to say that creativity is a 1.5. I'm going to say the looks of the car is like a 5.5. And let's say overall, I'd give it a 5.
Oh, we have an Eminem fan, although he went all the way back to 8 Mile.
I mean, 8 Mile is just 8 miles away from there. It's actually like 10.
But still, semantics. I definitely agree with you. By the way, I rank it less than the Red Bull car. I'd give it, if I gave Red Bull a 5, I'd give this one a 4.
Yeah, I think the creativity or lack thereof kind of brings it down. On the Baby Bull car, the prominent Hugo is kind of perplexing. And again, it has nothing to do with Hugo Boss. I love me some Hugo Boss, but it's a Visa Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, MasterCard, Discover Racing Bulls team, and not a Hugo Boss team. And you definitely missed the Cash App part. Cash App has been relegated to second division status here on everything. But Visa at least has some prominence on the thing. But again, it's in blue. The Hugo being in red and being on both sides of the car, just being all over, you kind of notice it first. And that's kind of what's drawing away from it. So, at least for me.
Yeah, that's honestly fair. Like, I loved the suit, and then I saw the giant red down the side, and I was like, I immediately hate this suit. So we're sharing the same. We have the same feelings here on that. It's too much.
Yeah,
and that's like, if Visa is your main sponsor, why is it not Visa down the side of your pants in blue? Like,
or Cash App.
Or
one or the other.
Cash App. Cash App would have loved
like
that spot.
Visa across the front, Cash App down the pants, like Hugo on the ass, whatever you want to do. Like maybe on the back of the helmets, something. They need to do something.
Could we? Why are more talking men coming on stage? What's happening?
I don't know, but their shirts, they also got the Walmart brands of Red Bull shirts, because the shirts aren't doing it for me either.
They were like, our budget was 60 million, so we couldn't afford. I also don't like how it's like, I know we talked about merch a little bit earlier, and I've been dealing with merch for a few years now with various things, and some like lines matter, and lines leading to nowhere piss me off. So
it's got to be like, you and I, we talk about this all the time. The merch has to be something where when you see it on the street, you know what it is, but also you want it. Like, you go, hey, that man's wearing a insert team or insert entity shirt. That shirt is dope. I gotta have that.
Right.
And it's an affordable price. Oh, I'm copping it immediately. These leave a lot to be desired. The shirts especially. And I'm sure those shirts are like $200 that they're wearing, which makes it worse. But this doesn't look like a shirt that you were going to say, oh, I'm a Racing Bulls fan, I'm going to buy this shirt. You'd rather get the Red Bull offering than this. And that's kind of where they lost me. The design on the side is just messing with me. It's like almost giving people vertigo.
Pissing me off so much. Like, I was like, it's like, where do these lines lead you to? The armpit. What do you? If there's not a Red Bull logo underneath the armpit, after following those lines, what are we doing? Like,
and it's like, it's not leading to pants. It's not like they wore pants that has something that continues and gives you some basis for why they went the way they did. It's just the shirt, but the front is so plain compared to even the jumpsuit. It just looks like a workout shirt with sponsors on it.
That's also the logos being asymmetrical, and as small as they are, it's also just like.
Can we talk about on this shirt, Visa, big as I don't know what on the front. Oh, they do have the Cash App on the bottom. Okay, I saw the Red
There's
Bull.
no Hugo.
Hugo is on the shoulder, on both shoulders.
Honestly, that's better, because otherwise it was going to stand out on the front of that shirt even more, and it would have also pissed me off. So
yeah,
everything about this just pissed me off. Everything about that whole setup, where that just made me mad. I don't even know how to explain it. Like,
yeah. So we have our cars, at least the first two liveries of the 2026 season, Red Bull and Racing Bulls. Again, when you see the images out there, listen to this episode, chime in with your thoughts. Let us know what you think. We're going to try and do something similar. Again, not necessarily live, but at least reactions to every single livery that comes out over the next couple of weeks. I think the next one, remind me what the next one's going to be in a couple of weeks.
See, the next one is going to be Haas on the 19th.
Oh, MLK Day. So
Yeah.
next week, if you think about next week, you have Haas on January 19th. That's Martin Luther King Day here in America. January 20th will be Audi. January 22nd will be Mercedes. And then January 23rd will be both Ferrari and your former Alpine. So that'll be interesting. We'll get a nice set of liveries next week. And hopefully creativity is front of mind for some of these guys.
I know we talked about which ones were going to be our favorites. I am very interested in to see what Haas does next. I don't think it can get any worse, but they surprise us every day. So
yeah, they have a lot of pressure now that there's another American team on the grid.
Yeah,
that is arguably more American than they are. They're going to have some issues. So the Red Bull, it looks like Red Bull is done. And I guess that means we are too. So again, we're going to be back soon. We're going to talk about all these liveries. We got testing coming next month. A lot of things going to be done here. And again, Ebony and I are working on merch. So stay tuned for that as well. For Ebony, I'm Donald. Thanks for joining us. And as always, vroom, vroom.
Vroom, vroom. For the first time in 2026.